the powers of by the powers conferred on me by the letter of Interim Authority of 15th May 2002, I declare this assembly a congregation of Kiriri Women's University of Science and Technology.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, we now invite our university chaplain to lead us in prayer.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. I'm reading from 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9 to 10. I will boast most gladly of my weakness, in order that the power of Christ may dwell within me. Therefore, I am content with weakness, insults, hardships, persecutions, and constraints for the sake of Christ. For when I am weak, then I am strong. Psalm 46. God is for us a refuge and strength, an ever-present help in times of distress. So we shall not fear though the earth should rock, though the mountains quake to the heart of the sea, even though its waters rage and foam, even though the mountains be shaken by its tumults. The Lord of hosts is with us, the God of Jacob is our stronghold. The waters of river give joy to God's city, the holy place, the dwelling of the Most High. God is within, she cannot be shaken. God will help her at the dawning of the day. Nations are in tumult, kingdoms are shaken. He lifts his voice, earth melts away. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our stronghold. Come and behold the works of the Lord, the awesome deeds he has done on earth. He puts an end to wars over all the earth. The bow of the whip he breaks, the spear he snaps, shields he burns with fire. Be still and know that I am God, exalted over nations, exalted over earth. God our Father, we thank you for this wonderful day. We thank you for stakeholders, initiators of these beloved institutions. You have called us to mold and to empower each and every one of us, especially the girl child. We thank you for this day, for the gift of the parents, those who have journeyed with these, our students. We thank you for those who have helped them. We thank you for our teachers. We thank you for our lecturers. We thank you for all. Above all, as we stand here today, there are those who have made this day to be successful, despite the COVID challenge. Dear Lord and Master of all, we thank you and we glorify your name. May this day be successful, and may it touch each and every one of us wherever we are, our dear students, that they may continue co-creating with you and molding the earth that you have given to us. May your name be glorified, and may we do your will. We make our prayer through our Lord Jesus Christ, your Son, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, one God, forever and ever. Amen. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Thank you.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, allow me to invite the VC to extend a word of welcome and also to communicate goodwill messages.
On behalf of the Kiriri Women's University of Science and Technology community, I want to praise and thank God for his favor and blessings as I welcome all who are attending our 12th virtual graduation ceremony. First, I welcome our graduates, our students, parents, guardians, and our teaching faculty. In a special manner, I welcome our chancellor and the sponsor of the university and the members of the board of trustees. I also welcome the chairperson of the University Governing Council, Professor Ruth Duarte, and all members of the Governing Council. I welcome goodwill messages from the Commission for University Education CEO, Professor Mwenda Ndarangwi, the Vice Chancellors of our sister universities, Professor Mumo Kisau, Chairman of KAPU, Professor Robert Gateru of Riara University, Professor David Gicheyo of Kenya Methodist University, Professor Maina of Pioneer International University, Professor Laba Nairo of Daystar University, Dr. Dina Mwinzi of Kenya Assemblies of God, Professor Tim Kiriri International Leadership University, Professor Rose Mwonya of Egerton University, Professor Dixon Nyariki of Muranga University, and many others. On behalf of Kiriri Women's University of Science and Technology, we welcome you and greatly appreciate your virtual presence. Please stay tuned.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, we will now have a session of speeches. The first speech will be from Sharon Murugi Dhuo, one of our already awakened and rising stars, and more to it, Sharon was the reigning Miss Kiriri for the year 2018-2019. Welcome, Sharon.
The Chancellor and all protocols observed, good morning. I am Sharon Thuo and honored to stand here on behalf of all graduates 2020. Well, I was honored to be invited to as a graduate speaker this year. I admit writing this speech was very tasky. And I believe I will have imagined that there will be anything better or easier, but I promise I will make it short and precise, and I will ace it. So as I was thinking about this speech and reflecting on my experience here at Kiriri Women's University of Science and Technology for the past 4 years pursuing my degree, I came into the conclusion that I will cover 3 areas in my speech. To begin with, I want to express my gratitude cordially to all our lecturers and the staff of Kiriri Women's University. You people made our stay here easier. You taught us, you inspired us in one way or another. For that, we are grateful. We want to thank all our parents, for those who made their sacrifices and our guardians, so that this day we can stand and be proud of graduating with our respective courses. We also want to thank God, because God is a supernatural being that has made this possible in every way. So God, we really appreciate this. Secondly, I want to talk about failure. All graduates of 2020, I ask you only one thing today as we graduate. After we complete this day, do not fear failure, But please be terrified of giving up, because giving up is the birth of regret. After this day ends, you will receive 100 doors shut, slam in your face. You will have 100 moments that will be filled with someone telling you you cannot do this, or telling you thank you for your application, but we regret to inform you that we've chosen a different candidate for this job. You will sit in 100 different interviews and you'll not get the job. The reality of life is that we all hear more no's than we hear yeses in our lifetime. And we will fail a lot. Today, trust me, we will fail a lot, and I mean a whole lot. But what I ask of you today, all of you graduates, is not to take no negatively and take it positively. Don't be afraid of no's. Be afraid of the possibility of a yes that you have prematurely destroyed because you decided to quit before the clock strikes 12. I love a good no, personally. Please tell me a no, because telling me no is adding fuel to my fire. So today I challenge you all graduates to fight hard, to work, not to stop where you're going, to believe heavily in your aspirations, that you will not fear the word no, but instead will choose to welcome it and let it fuel your fire. Part number 3, comparison. As we start the path of our careers, some of us will get jobs immediately. Others will have to wait a little bit longer. Some of us will become wives and mothers. Our journeys will be different at the end of the day. A wise man said that comparison is the thief of joy. As we leave this place, as we leave Kiriri Women's University of Science and Technology, let us not compare ourselves. Let us be optimistic and positive about life. Let us enjoy our journeys and not compare each other. I am so proud of everyone who made it today, all graduates. You indeed have made yourselves proud and made Kiriri proud. And for that, congratulations, virtual class of 2020. Thank you.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, our second speech comes from Susan Gitari, who is the chair of KUSO, and Susan is also the vice chair, Kenya University Students Organization, and is also the finance director, Kenya Private University Students Association.
Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, and all protocols observed. My name is Susan Gitari, and I'm supposed to be here to deliver a generic speech about how we are all great and pretend we all wanted to show up to this arena at 11 a.m. dressed in JD robes just to get a piece of paper. I kid, of course. A graduation is much more than just a piece of paper. Dr. Jogona said, we all get free chicken strips once the ceremony is over. So that's why I showed up. Graduates, I believe we all recall our initial week of orientation that began right behind us, where the Dean of Students and her team embraced us. It is precisely in these suitable grounds that 4 years ago, our dear Vice Chancellor, Professor Justus Mille, graciously welcomed us to Kiriri Women's University during Vice Chancellor's personal address to the freshmen. This day, the team that welcomed us is seeing us off. We are contented of who we have become, right? I believe we will be all in agreement that Kiriri University not only provided excellent service and comprehensive education, but also exposed all of us to co-curricular activities that helped us to discover our passions and purpose in life. It is through this co-curricular I discovered I could steer people, and last year in March, I successfully vied for the Vice Presidency of the University Student Council and was humbled the victory. This will habitually be the key highlight of my civic at Kiriri University. I salute all of you in the congregation who assumed leadership positions in various sports teams, clubs, and module leading, having been forged in the crucible demanding roles. We are now primed to dutifully take the Kiriri University brand of civic leadership to the corporate world. Service attachment. I believe we discovered the literal meaning of fulfillment by doing good and spreading love, not only to those keenest to us, but to those living. In the present circumstances, a considerably more meaning of fulfillment by doing good. I see future presidents, judges, entrepreneurs, and other professions amongst all of you. I legitimately expect we will utterly exert profound influence in the foreseeable future of this country. To those who have set the path of enterprise, you have accepted a noble calling. Go forth and be prominent business women. We desire you to provide jobs. Kiriri University has presented us ample opportunities to dream big and intellectually challenge ourselves without being afraid to confront imminent failures as we aspire. There are but the few principles which we have learned not merely in class, but in our life beyond the four walls. Today marks the genesis of the tremendous adventure. I hope we can all be there for each other as we continue with our journey. Godspeed, class of 2020. Thank you.
To Sharon and Susan, and also our 2020 graduates, be bold, be courageous, be your best. Excellence has been your habit, maintain, and remember, the final forming of a person's character lies in your own hands, as said by Anne Frank. Mr. Chancellor, sir, I now invite our Vice Chancellor, Professor Mille, to give his speech. Thank you.
The Chancellor of Kiriri Women's University of Science and Technology, Professor Paul Darwa, Chairperson of the University Governing Council, Professor Ruth Duarte, members of Board of Trustees, members of University Council and the Senate, graduates, parents, guardians, staff, students, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you who are following our 12th fashion graduation ceremony, which is aired live through several social media platforms. On behalf of the university management, the Senate, and on my behalf, may I extend my sincere congratulations to all the 1,012 2020 class of graduates, their parents, guardians, and friends during this ceremony. Indeed, this is a very special day for the graduates as they celebrate the years of hard work, dedication, and sacrifice in the course of their studies here at the university. Your parents and guardians, all who are watching us live, have sacrificed their comforts for those years just to succeed, to ensure you succeed in your studies. They are looking ahead with confidence and hoping that better days lie ahead. We have imparted you with the skills, insights, and ideas which will serve you well and in the future. Your life will be your story, and the adventure ahead of you is the journey to fulfill your own purpose and potential. Mr. Chancellor, sir, since the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, that led to the closure of all learning institutions, the internet has changed our way of life, of doing things. It has changed the physical lecture halls we were used to teach from that time. The university took the bold step immediately and wasted no time to ensure our students continued learning uninterrupted. Our students have also been able to assess virtual assessment of learning through CATs and examinations, virtual admissions and orientation of new students. Mr. Chancellor, sir, I wish to report that the university will continue its core mandate of offering quality university education, and graduates today can attest to this. Not only do they demonstrate academic excellence, but the graduates following us. This ceremony virtually exposes the virtues of honesty, humility, objectivity, and tolerance. Today we are sending 1,012 graduates who are well prepared to face the future with confidence. Mr. Chancellor, sir, the university also continues to grow in the number of students enrolled in a range of competitive and market-driven programs, which are all well aligned to the vision and mission of the university. Next year, we expect to graduate the first cohort of Bachelor of Education graduates. In the coming 2 months, we look forward to launching our Master of Business degree program in the School of Business and Management, which is awaiting final inspection of facilities by the Commission. We are also anticipating to launch new undergraduate programs in Bachelor of Procurement and Supply Chain Management and also Bachelor of Information Technology degree programs. Finally, graduates, as you celebrate your achievements, always aim high, work hard, and care deeply about what you believe in. Wherever you go, go with all your heart. You will stumble and fall. You will experience both disaster and triumph, but neither triumphs nor disasters will last forever. To the parents and guardians who entrusted us with their girls, we say thank you, and we hope that today you are happy. Your daughters have made you proud and have kept their promise. Today, there are different people ready for the next step in their lives. To our current students, I would like to wish you success in your ongoing virtual examinations and welcome you all to a new academic year starting 1st September 2020. Congratulations to the class of 2020, and God bless you all. Mr. Chancellor, sir, I now wish to invite the Chair of University Governing Council, Professor Duarte, to address this congregation. Welcome, Prof.
Good morning, Mr. Chancellor, the Vice Chancellor, members of the faculty, students. This is an extraordinary year, and I want to start by congratulating the graduating class of 2020. You have applied yourselves to your studies and satisfied the examiners, and you are now ready to face the world of work. Once again, congratulations and best wishes for the future. You're graduating in an extraordinary time as the whole world, everywhere, every continent is reeling away with the SARS COVID-19 pandemic. A very frightening scenario where the breath of a friend, a neighbor, a stranger, or even a family member may carry a virus that might threaten your life and those of you love. A scenario we never imagined could be. We cannot celebrate this achievement face to face. It may be a life. If we did, it might actually be, and it would be a danger to you as a graduate. So it creates a scenario that today maybe the only opportunity, or today would have been the only opportunity to see your friends, and it may be actually a lifetime before you meet your classmates who you have studied with here at Coast. So it is really an extraordinary day. Worse still, the job market looks like jobs have dried up. I want to encourage you and urge you not to despair, to be ever hopeful. At KUST, we have endeavored to give you a modern education. But more than that, the ability to be adaptable, to seek solutions as you go along. You have actually seen your teachers in action. They did not stop teaching you when a lockdown was declared and all schools were closed. They simply switched gear to a different mode of teaching and achieved their set goals. And that is why we are actually having this graduation today. I want to assure you that the online learning at KUST is on the cutting edge of what all other institutions are doing, not just in Kenya, but globally. This in itself is an important lesson for life, that when hurdles arise, you need to quickly shift plan and adopt an alternative approach. Life must continue. Of course, you can only do this if you are clear about what your end game is. The timely completion of your studies and quality teaching has been and continues to be the primary end game for Kiriri Women's University of Science and Technology. Another lesson from this COVID pandemic is the power of evidenced practice and personal discipline manifested by closely following instructions from the experts. In 2020, the world has been immersed in actually a very big experiment where citizens closely adhere to the instructions, there is life and hope. But where evidence and facts are ignored, there's great despair and there is death. I don't need to mention countries, you see it in the newspapers, the lesson is very clear. This lesson is played out every day in our lives and in so many different ways. I hope that KUST has taught you well to be disciplined, law-abiding citizens, to follow the path of life and hope. We are very proud of our programs, which incorporate mathematics and computer sciences in various ways. Every one of the subjects we teach here has those as core subjects. The first 6 months of 2020 have demonstrated the high value of these skills. You've seen important government decisions made on the basis of mathematical modeling of the epidemic data. You have also seen overnight a shift from working in an office to off-site learning and working. So there is hope. You will find dignified livelihoods out there. You have the right skills mates for the future. Every day, there are new discoveries, new knowledge, and therefore, I encourage you to retain a lifelong learning habit. When I went to school, there were no computers. Even when I finished my graduate studies, there were no computers. Today, I do all my computing, all my writing, or anything, this is part of our lives. So please, maintain a lifelong habit of learning, and that way you actually continue to play in the game of life with everybody else. I want to take this opportunity to invite you to come back to KUST to further your skills. There's now no excuse that I'm living far away, I'm doing a job, I have a family, I can't reach school. We are live online, and so that master's degree that you wanted, we are going to start doing the MBA, that degree that you always wanted is really just a click away from you, and we welcome you back for that. Let me end by urging you to all go out there and be good citizens in your local community in Kenya and the world. Always work to the very best of your ability, just like you've done to pass your exams. Endeavor to build a team wherever you're working. And more important, add value to the lives of the people around you. Congratulations, and we wish you the very best as you go out there into the world. Thank you. I now take this opportunity to invite the Chancellor, Dr. Darrow, to give his address to this august congregation of the few of us sitting here, but the very many out there online. Dr. Darrow.
Academic staff, morning. Come here, everybody. My great pleasure, ending over this 12th graduation ceremony, one to be held very due to the COVID-19 pandemic. This graduation ceremony marks yet another milestone in the history and development of this great university. On this great and joyful occasion, I wish to congratulate the class of 2020 graduates of Kiriri Women University of Science and Technology. The university as a whole has reason to celebrate this milestone as it sends out graduates of the university despite going through rough times academically due to the global COVID-19 pandemic and its repercussions, especially on the education sector. But we thank God that with all these setbacks, we have managed to be where we are today. Indeed, graduates, we are confident that you have acquired and learned a lot while at the university. You are now part of an important human resource necessary to growth and development of our country. Your accomplishment following your hard work cannot go unnoticed. This significant achievement could not have been possible without the unwavering support and encouragement of your parents, guardians, sponsors, friends, and sponsors whom I believe are taking pride in you today. Today's occasion is a clear evidence of your hard work and the commitment of lecturers and staff of this university. It is gratifying to note that there has been significant growth in students' numbers, rapid expansion of education facilities and programs, which I believe have contributed to the achievement of graduates on this day. The Board of Trustees has continued to provide the facilities needed as per the strategic and plan for ease of learning and for the continued growth of the university. The Board of Trustees wish to thank the University Governing Council and the University Management Board for steering the university out to this level and urge them not to relent but work extra hard to ensure the university is chartered soon as possible in the year 2020. Allow me to most sincerely appreciate the government through the Ministry of Education and the Commissions for University Education for their continued support to the university. I do appeal for the increased support and funding to the institution from the government for continued and sustained growth of the university. The graduates, today, as we award you various certificates, diplomas, and confer you various degrees, consider it a great achievement, given that much has been invested in you. Many people in the society will rely on you for support and encouragement because they have sacrificed to make you what you are today. I am convinced that you have all it takes to demonstrate good character and values that you have acquired and nurtured while at this great university. Today is your day. You have worked for it. Celebrate and cherish it, for through it you will find the beginning of another life. May God bless you all, bless Kiriri Women University of Science and Technology, and may He bless our country, Kenya. Once again, congratulations. Thank you.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, I now request the DVC Academic Affairs and Research to invite deans of various schools to present candidates for the conferment of degrees and award of diplomas and certificates. Thank you.
Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to call upon the Dean School of Business and Management to present the candidates for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Science in Business Administration.
Chancellor, sir, during the 2019-2020 academic year, the following 240 candidates whom I have the honor to present to you satisfied the Board of Examiners of the School of Business and Management and Senate in all subjects which they were taught and which they were examined for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Science in Business Administration of Kiriri Women's University of Science and Technology. Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, class of 2020, accounting option. First class honors, Njugi Tabitha Wairimu, Gitau Margaret Wanjiru, Gatimu Florence Wawira. Second class honors, upper division, Dunde, Okochil, Arivizira, Kitio, Mutune, Kimwe, Makworo, Nzioka, Simiyu, Mungai. Second class honors, lower division, Githuka, Wafura, Nariaka, Madheka, Kamore. Finance option, second class honors, upper division, B, Wambugu, Otumba, Chege, Onyango, Wangari, Wambui, Kariuki, Wambu, Mudhusi, Miano, Githinji, Mwanga, Kubai, Dhuo, Mureithi, Wandiri, Matheri, Njeri Mary, Jerry Margaret, Mwangi Ruth, Mwangi Reseri, Chamgetich, Githui, Kaira, Wafura, Gadhiga. Second class honors, lower division, Jogu, Okwach, Komo, Jeruto, Wekesa, Onsongo, Josephat, Mbithe, Maina Joyce, Cherotich, Machuki, Maina Esther, Kimeli, Wainaina, Luceno, Karanja, Mutuku, Irungu, Karuga, Jepkoech, Kasioka, Kamensu, Kirimi, Washira, Kwamboka, Tororei, Indhiga, Dolo, Giambi, Wanjala, Kamau, Getuno, Chepkirich. Human Resource Management, second class honors, upper division, Warutere, Mwangi, Onjuma, Onyala, Mugo, Kate, Kibuti, Mbithi, Kariuki, Kaburu, Kokoyo, Mrithi, Njeri, Kagunda, Nsunge, Njau. Second class honors, lower division, Taguz, Wambui, Njuma, Musavi, Karaba, Kembenei, Makoha, Vuguza, Rono, Ndungu, Kirimi, Kimani, Musimi, Maina, Joroge, Wekesa, Pass, Okwaro. International Business Management, second class honors, upper division, Gatheru, Cheruyot, Githinji. Second class honors, lower division, Wanyonyi, Mbogo, Nganga, Nkadha, Washira, Njagi. Marketing, second class honors, upper division, Wambua, Joroge Damaris, Nderitu, Osango, Joroge Karen. Second class honors, lower division, Mwagiru, Ngigi. Procurement and Supply Chain Management, second class honors, upper division, Kubai, Mungai, Wairimu, Mutai, Manyonge, Irungu, Kinuthia, Kihoto, Chemutai, Masheti, Wairegi, Rono, Mwai, Dirangu, Simiyu, Mwangi, Niona, Mukora, Githinji, Muturi, Wangui, Ndungu, Mumbi, Eden. Second class honors, lower division, Maina, Mugeni, Dhumbi, Wanjala, Shikanga, Letasimi, Mwangi, Janja, Kashapan, Akonya, Mitei, Ngugi, Mokua, Washira Mary, Livoi, Mungai, Wamaitha, Wanyoike, Kipistet, Ogola, Githaiga, Mushuru, Kiplagat, Nganga, Kajiti, Washira Margaret, Masharia, Oyaro, Gikomi. Pass, Irungu.
I, admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science in Business Administration of Kiriri Women University of Science and Technology, and by my authority and that of the entire university, confer on you all the rights, privileges, and honor that appertain to these degrees.
Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to call upon the Dean, School of Computer and Information Technology, to present the candidates for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Business and Information Technology.
(2019-2020) academic year, the following 20 whom I have the honor to present to you satisfy the Board of Examiners of the School of Computer and Information Technology and seen it in all subjects which they were taught and which they were examined for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Business and Information Technology of Kiriri University of Science and Technology. Bachelor of Business Information Technology, class of 2020, second class honors upper division. Esther Ann Waboi Kiarie, Kimathi Nikilote Joy, Lucy Jerry Joki, Millicent Chesang Kimtai, Elizabeth Waboi Kiluku, Pauline Wagetu Maina, Kaluga Grace Wailimo, Diana Chepchichil Koech. Second class honors lower division. Immaculate Mkulu Muzioka, Elima Jeluto Koech, Kadzo S. Mkunzo, Faith Mwendwa Makazi, Millicent Wanja Mwaniki, Susan Wajiko Jogu, Anastasia Mubua Malinda, Beatrice Mubi Muriuki, Chepkolil Masi Ed Ann Wanjilo Waithaka.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Business and Information Technology of Kiriri Women University of Science and Technology, and by my authority and that of the entire university, confer on you all the rights, privilege, and honor that appertain to this degree.
Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to call upon the Dean, Faculty of Science, to present the candidates for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Science, Mathematics.
Chancellor, sir, during the 2019-2020 academic year, the following 17 candidates, whom I have the honor to present to you, satisfied the Board of Examiners of the Faculty of Science and Senate in all subjects which they were taught and which they were examined for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Science Mathematics of Kiriri Women's University of Science and Technology. Class of 2020. Second class honors upper division, Veronica Sherotish Ngeno, Sylvia Wangari Wanjiku, Teresia Nyambura Maina, Cynthia Nyawera Njiro, Martin Aroa Shieng, Lake Jerry Wanjilo, Jane Wanjira Wahito, Monica Nyawera Wangeshi, Sarah Muthoni Wakava. Second class honors lower division, Tel Aviv Mukama Kizito, Lilian Nyawera Jiraine, Naum Jepleting Mutai, Grace Nundu Mwange, Spola Mudhoni Ngendo, Alice Kanini Kindu, Mary Mudhoni Mwangi, Winfred Wayua Mudhini.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science, Mathematics of Kiriri Women University of Science and Technology, and that of the entire university, confer on you all the rights, privileges, and honor that appertain to these degrees.
Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to call upon the Dean, School of Computer and Information Technology, to present the candidates for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Science, Computer Science.
Chancellor, sir, during 2019-2020 academic year, the following 15 candidates whom I have the honor to present to you satisfied the Board of Examiners of the School of Computer and Information Technology and Senate in all subjects they were taught and which they were examined for the conferment of the degree of Bachelor of Science, Computer Science of Kiriri Women's University of Science and Technology. BSc Computer Science, class of 2020, second class honors, upper division. Faith Nyabula Dungu, Joan Chapungeno Sigei, Consolata Wausi Michael, Cecilia Waboi Mwangi. Second class honors, lower division. Karen Chelotich, Winlaws Wajiko Karuilo, Mase Idhanya, Emma Wangeshi Kariuki, Fimbi Waboi Mugo, Sylvia Mokeila Nyaingo, Jedida Joki Nyabura, Nancy Jerry Kemani, Phyllis Mulugi Mwaneki, Lucy Wajiko Irongo, and Veronica Chelangat.
I admit you to the degree of Bachelor of Science and Computer Science of Kiriri Women University of Science and Technology, and that of the entire university. Confer on you all the rights, privileges, and honor that appertain to these degrees.
Sir, I have the honor to call upon the Dean School of Business and Management to present the candidates for the award of diploma.
Chancellor, sir, during the 2019-2020 academic year, the following 730 candidates, whom I have the honor to present to you, satisfied the Board of Examiners of the School of Business and Management and Senate in all subjects which they were taught and which they were examined for the award of Diploma of Kiriri Women's University of Science and Technology. Diploma in Accounting, class of 2020. Distinction, Majesa Valentine, Abukusa Damaris Anono Damaris, Kisengi E. Mino, Linet Wajiku. Credit 1. Derito Mudhoni Teresa, Musioka Mulike, Wambui Waithera Mary, Lucy Njoki Kamau, Susan Atieno Asa, Nancy Akinyi Ooko, Margaret Yokau Makunga, Marigoret Dinda Mwika, Julia Mutie, Jael Chepkoech, Rosarine Mwikari Mutua, Rebecca Joki Murimi, Royce Nafula Wanyama, Juliana Kesia Were, Jennifer Nchoe, Lydian Mutindi Pita, Ogutu Esther Awino, Mase Akinyi Ayot, Ingato Berir, Angura Rowinski, Sumeya Muhwana Hassan, Priscilla Waruguru Muridhi, Millicent Nyaira Misuko, Cyprus Wanjeru Biti Wanjeru, Caroline Kadhambi, Faith Wangui Wanjiru, Dayo Vevarin, Charity Nepaita Simpiri, Karanja and Rose Njuguini, Emari Elizabeth Lavenda, Ndarizu Vivian, Otieno Martha Odhiambo, Musambi Dorcas Melza, Masika Joyas Zil, Elsa Awino Samo, Ombago Kandi Becky, Morris Rachel Ngii, Muridhi Glory Kamadhi, Kidhinji Kanjiru Frinda, Odongo Handrorin Atieno, Achieng Sirivia Okelo, Oganda Afrina Akinyi, Alexandria Mino Chengo, David Rokas Kailu, Mutune Elizabeth Mwende, Kiyo Wambui, Madheka Miriam Musenya, Awol Immaculate, Olusire Adelaide Omulimi. Credit 2, Ogutu Rahel Akoth, Dorka Kerubo Mongare, Cecilia Manyaga Masharia, Kagwiri Ridia Wairimu, Kavingu Anna Nzurwa. Diploma in Business Administration, Class of 2020, Distinction, Mary Kagendo, Esther Wanjiru, Agnes Vaati. Credit 1, Otieno Rorin Atieno, Jenga Mary Jerry, Mutuma Nkatha Tracy, Rosemary Nyagodhi Washira, Mbithi Kendi Eve, Nancy Nyambura Maina, Kimani Wangui Nancy, Mwendwa Kalondu Aris, Kambelo Halima Nuria, Margaret Wanjiku Muthe, Richard Nchoka Linet, Teresa Kagai, Mongera Gatwiri Brenda, Mudhoka Ndanu Irene, Sinaida Bosire, Kadhambi Betty, Cheragat Jacqueline, Gala Kawe Sharon, Karugia Jerry Maureen, Caroline Kero Manga, Nyamacha B. Adhiambo, Maureen Jerry, Joan Janet Waithera Maina, Momanyi Kemunto Sharon, Jepchuba Masi, and Teresa Adhiambo Adala, Jabuto Brilliant Nyongora, Chepkemoi Diana, Grace Danu Kimani, Diba Riban Safo, Jepgetich Masi, Barasa N. Valentine, Sikamoi Peneia Banis, Mary Kabura, Cheragat Faith, Miriam Wamaitha Gitari, Masrin Chepkorir, Rinet Watiri Waweru, Rose Wanjiru Chege, Jerry Joyce Wangui, Joirin Cheragat Koech, Musyoka Victoria Wayua, Meitamei Ann Simayai, Millicent Chemutai, Abigail Bithe Mutua, Omondi Janice Regina, Musyoka Sabina Kaingi, Lona Wangeshu Muihia, Wakaba Mary Nyambura, Gachuhi Bithe Faith, Lusike Diana, Rachel M. Muse, Ogaro Rachel Atieno, Stella Chepngeno, Rose Njoki Morigi, Mboya Beryl Alwuch, Emily Resian Saingieu, Mary Wambui Moigai, Nora Nduko Mololo, Salome Wanjiru, Eunice Wakagi Omwangi, Chebet Sherin, Akinyi Violet Serin, Purity Wawira John, Lucy Waithera Masharia, Brenda Hahuzu Repare, Evelyn Jerry Joroge, Rachel Wanjiku Kamau, Osahara N. Gloria, Dadhi Kareche Purity, Jepkoskei Gloria, Pieta Ocholi, Makuba Kamara Masi, Susan Wanjiru Dungu, Wachira Doreen Wanjiku, Inviorata Nungari Ranji, Mase Wanjiro Mwangi, Cynthia Anyango Akeo, Musebi Bridget Mudheu, Mwasia Tekla Mumbua, Divina Muhana Wafula, Jude Wangui Joroge, Sharon Wangeshi Diiro, Mary Kerubo Nyangweso, Eunice Wanjiru Ngumo, Miriam Jambi Mogo, Evelyn Wangui Maina, Cecilia Waihoini Gidhuku, Muriuki Mary Wanjiru, Ekal Miriam Rengoyapus, Akinyi Triza Edith, Maureen Chemgetich, Nyangiru Cynthia Mudhoni, Delila Kache Shukuru, Nafura Damaris, Kamau Mase Wangui, Mugo Evelyn Wanjiku, Wanjiku Consolata wa Maitha, Kimando Janet Wanjiku. Credit 2. Angela Mudhoni Waseke, Omanyo Makungu Priscilla, Gakuru Ambui Sharon, Wahome Megan Wangeshi, Ilamwenya Y. Vigenzia, Mary Kasioka Kambua, Nyaosi Nyambeki Valentine, Injila Rorin Kasoha, Kaboro Juan Wanjiku, Michelle Atieno Yugileo, Maureen Chebet, Gitonga Purity Mudhoni, Quinta Atieno Odiek, Jeroge Mudhoni Cecilia, Marine Wanjiku Maina, Kabuthi Susan Wanjugu, Judy Machuki, Munene Lydian Mukuhi, Margaret Jerry Kairu, Elizabeth Jepkemoi Kipragat.
Diploma in Banking and Finance, Class of 2020, Distinction, Asad Fadhi Abdi, Jillian Wadera Wambui, Lilian Achieng Otieno. Credit 1, Grace Wanjiru, Adhiambo Clarice, Margaret Nafula, Chepngetich Milka, Chepkwait Sharon, Chepto Claire, Milka Wanja, Damaris Wangui, Mumbwa Charity, Nelias Jalagat, Kilonka Nesei, Dimbosa Shilaho, Chepkemoi Naomi, Joroge Mary, Mwasia Jennifer, Muriuki Masi, Purity Wambura, Wairimu Christine, Kimanzi Grace, Chepkwet Sharon, Joy Chepkorir, Cherotich Flavia, Jacqueline Mbone, Sharon Auma, Masi Njoki, Mukere Rose, Ezekiel Lina, Florence Mumbe, Veronica Wanjiru, Faith Waruguru, Sharon Chepngeno, Anna Teresa, Kabiru Ann, Mwilo Caroline, Ouma Susan, Lynette Achieng, Jebitok Joan, Alice Nziva, Jusa Gloria, Muringi Jane, Ndungu Mary, Mboya Cheryl, Sophia Isa, Kadenje Malin, Lynette Wanjiru, Nafula Otieno, Munini Lucia, Naomi Mudhoni, Ochieng Cheryl, Ndanu Christine, Kitui Rebecca, Gashau Edith, Weyama Cheryl, Chepkosgei Purity, Charles Kavinya Helen, Ndiritu Masi, Walubengo Naomi, Chelimo Maureen, Jahenda Bridget, Kadenya Linda, Rosa Wino, Mwangi Veronica, Kiduva Beatrice, Masi Chelimo, Christy Nauma, Nafula Nancy, Millicent Gasheri, Lepore Evelyn. Credit 2, Joyce Wanjiru, Wanjiku Mary, Mwangi Frida, Lorena War, Helen Atieno, Sarah Mwendi, Faredia Mora, Ogutu Belinda, Mary Mbugua. Diploma in Human Resource Management, Class of 2020. Distinction, Josephine Kawia Samson, Eunice Mutuangula, Sinaida Kemuto Kerosi. Credit 1, Ndukumasi Rosbella Odinga, Deleva Immaculate, Wangari Njoki, Lucina Ongwae, Jackal Achieng, Mercy Achieng, Mbudia Joyce, Vati Maluki, Kavata Grace, Kipsuge Caroline, Helen Wikali, Sarangina, Saisi McLean, Joyce Mbua, Teresa Ondimu, Nancy Mutile, Ochieng Norlin, Ruth Mwikali, Anna Nalieka, Christine Wamaidha, Chiteri Nangabo, Candy Christine, Masase Fumet, Frida Ndindi, Adhiambo Faith, Jedida Wangeshi, Marcia Kambua, Kariuki Kagendo, Charity Chepngeno, Diana Wangari, Helen Mumbi, Lina Mwende, Miriam Adhiambo, Emma Mugure, Faith Munyiva, Mary Mumbi, Diana Mbula, Anne Wangui, Dekla Mora, Martha Emma, Jane Achieng, Lilian Danu, Lydia Adhiambo, Josephine Kalili, Onyango Shalom, Wamuyu Angata, Priska Akinyi, Achar Goreti, Joan Indasi, Esther Kaveni, Edna Usaji, Jacinta Mweni, Brenda Wanjiko, Judith Boke, Adhiambo Lucy, Agnes Mutua, Wangui Lilian, Kaheha Alice, Linda Awino, Yvonne Cherotich, Faith Nduku, Winnie Atieno, Cynthia Mwikali, Chemutai Dorothy, Cambros Betro, Karen Claire, Anne Wakio Maura, Lilian Wambui, Beryl Akinyi, Primrose Awor, Maroke Juliet, Mutembei Doreen, Sophia Atieno, Jacqueline Wangari, Jacqueline Mwikali, Burundi Caroline, Berin Zipora, Gladys Kameme, Gitau Joy, Magdalene Chepkoech, Katumo Katumbi, Sharon Mora, Wanyonyi Glorious, Lynette Mali, Catherine Mino, Otanga Valentine, Odhiambo Masi, Charity Kaluki, Purity Mudheo, Mangira Anna, Mengwa Juliet, Anne Wangari, Kihenyo Kalama, Lucia Lovenda, Banda Hoplin, Ruth Mumbi, Kasim Rehema, Samuel Chepkosgei, Mary Nyambura, Walekwa Ebi, Mango Margaret Snyder, Chepkemoi Irene, Kareithi Marianne, Teresia Nyachira, Grace Mumo, Auma Ada, and Ndiwa Mbata. Credit to Chalo Lucia, Michelle Njeri, Oluo Chakinyi, Ndula Regina, Cynthia Achieng, Chepchumba Sarah, Musembi Sherling, Nancy Robina, Ann Lina, Maureen Chelagat, Van Maria, Ongachi Beverly, Mtole Belinda, Lona Chepngetich, Christine Kathomi, Lynn Savai, Pamela Anyango, Aswani Faith, Catherine Nadhiambo, Joyce Wanjiko, Anne Wamboi, Andisi Harriet, Teresia Njeri, Dorcas Munyiva, Chepkemoi Masi, Gateche Juliet, Janet Soikante, Gathumi Wamuyu, Njogu Lydia, Omolo Beryl, Wanjiku Veronica Wambui.
Diploma in Hospitality Management, class of 2020. I'm Jacqueline Wangoi, Sharon Mwende, Mwangi Grace, Rotish Jeruto, Anzimo Ann, Bonaeri Agnes. Credit 1. Mogo Jacqueline, Finiki Kemto, Kerumbo Rosette, Muhinda Antoinette, Obati Kwamboka, Maureen Wairimo, Sambaya Hanrain, Omuyaka Phyllis, Waleta Mildred, Omaiyo Esther, Lydia Joki, Doris Ashia, Sela Modhoni, Siokau Virginia, Juliet Wangolo, Osieko Macrin, Mercy Chemng'etich, Damaris Mweni, Akinyi Quinta, Saumu Omari, Morris Mutindi, Prudence Adeyo, Namoya Juliet, Deborah Shebet, Bon Maxila, Musibi Sheila, Muhoja Faleli, Clara Shelotish, Idua Beatrice, Bather Faith, Penina Wangeshi, Hilda Nkatha. Credit to Wagoi Damaris, Daisy Krugat, Nyambera Vanessa, Wajiko Penina, Nyongesa Esther, Mutabi Lisa, Kagedo Jacqueline, Atieno Diana. Diploma in Procurement and Supplies Management, Class of 2020. Distinction: Mkamburi Sophie, Ibuaga Rebecca, Kiprop Shalon, Gitao Jane, Shika Mariam, Esther Asieno, Mashaka Memphis, Jerry Wangoi, Marion Munae. Credit 1, Mwaneki Wangare, Dennis Naomi, Migale Rina, Maina Phyllis, Pelesa Shieng, Kenyo Wateto, Ngeno Shepkoesh, Mangore Mwangeri, Pauline Ann, Mutisia Mondhe, Kamuye Lasho, Shelono Diana, Maema Siong'ombe, Jerotish Irene, Chiefa Kalewa, Jep Choge Josephine, Jep Kilui Diana, Jep Korir Claire, Shalona Wool, Naomi Kerubo, Esther Wajiro, Fondo Damu, Mpaima Jane, Luce Wanjiro, Omoro Atieno, Diangui Rosebel, Kagura Irene, Virginia Mora, Juge Caroline, Rosemary Watiri, Jogona Ruse, Gesharo Joyce, Sifa Ashley, Patience Mwendwa, Mary Wanjiko, Ann Akoth, Maina Mere, Mase Musenya, Esther Mudheo, Jemima Dila, Margaret Mumbua, Ashieng Vivian, Lusenja Breda, Elizabeth Modoni, Nyambasa Kerumbo, Obiero Adhiambo, Margaret Ndenya, Lucy Nyokambi, Magarios Chebngeno, Janet Wanja, Ludhu Wanjiko, Muringe Diana, Yvonne Mukana, Tina Yanoi, Basila Waeni, Mwende Miri, Koesh Jelimo, Win Obonyo, Cynthia Jerotish, Duiga Brenda, Janet Mwajuma, Arenet Mola, Okombo Lois, Breda Nyaboke, Gati Sala, Hilda Wajiko, Rebecca Owol, Okodhi, Fideria, Big Irene, Oduna Jiabo, Adipo Tabu, Ibuye Luth, Toya Imoli, Kiali Eunice, Diema Shesang, Elizabeth Wamboi, Mulama Whitney, Magdalene Wamboi, Diema Dorothy Okaka Athiambo, Nekesa Fatuma, Maureen Kawela, Kimanzi Muluki, Janice Wanjiko, Gisebe Karen, Purity Kerumbo, Obara McLean, Ruth Atieno, Kadhambi Winjoy, Matolo Jane, Wamaloa Nafula, Sheb Ngeno Londa, Shemng'etich Fancy, Luce Mwanasawe, Leyagu Susan, Dhayu Jane, Bake Masin, Hannah Duta, Elosa Modhoni, Velma Ashieng, Breda Hoja, Mary Jerry, Nancy Emidewe, Munyao Emma, Mudhoka, Catherine, Obegi Mora, Ayuka Breda, Damaris Chebet, Owayo Auma, Muinde Luisa, Faith Mwachala, Jogona Mary, Adagara Shalon, Ajisa, Christine, Mumbe Damaris, Sheila Kageni, Violet Atieno, Shepkengmoi Lehema, Jemtai Dorothy, Shepto Shalon, Mary Nyamura, Florence Ipanoi, Sakayo Karo, Kiyoko Joan, Mituri Alice, Shuo Bakari, Mutinda Yvonne, Jane Nyagige, Rebecca Atieno, Jepchuba Abila, Shepkemoi Fikode, Maina Lea, Alice Silva, Shege Esther, Pauline Inessa, Owino Faith, Kosgei Jepto, Auma Christine, Owino Morilain, Evelyn Odhiabo Win, Credit 2, Rose Jerry, Mudheka Maureen, Nancy Wairimo, Shemng'etich Breda, Ilova Vyema, Floline McKenna, Shalon Shebet, Immaculate Joki, Elizabeth Wajiko, Bosha Ann, Oshieng Jane, Doro Jane, Orin Nyanchama, Kisafi Mary, Kaleni Wayua, Oduo Veronica, Silva Awino, Stacy James, Nasimiu, Amita Nyadiko Loslin, Aswani Josephine, Gitonga Gloria, Otieno Akoth, Juliet Bogwa. Diploma in Diplomacy and Public Relations, class of 2020, distinction. Shalon Shelop Kiprimo, Ajela Kaka Thomas, Idaman Hassan, Amina Mwakisenga Mwasela, credit 1. Millicent Shemeli, Jude Kalen Jerry Mwangi, Lauline Ndele Maivia, Freshian Wajilo Murimi, Sharon Shapkirui Sheliut, Susan Tialo Kadika.
Diploma in Communication and Information Technology, class of 2020. Distinction. Esther Ebdebeke Cash, Kiptu Chepkilui Faith, Xavier Caroline Odisa, Molly Awino Owino. Credit 1. Goge Caroline Nyakeiro, Chemtai Bleda, Kenywa Ann Nyagodhie, Chemtai Vivian, Kului Faith Chepkeitane, Mkula Purity Mudeu, Kemashu Placius Wajiko, Chepkoech Masi Ngeno, Wajiko Tabitha, Changwi Susan Minayo, Adayi Judith, Jilo Wawela Stella, Kagai Trase Wamboi, Kamande Susan Joki, Masi Nyagodhie Wailimo, Bambla Akwale Asumwa, Mirka Waligia Mtinda, Sofia Wailimu Migwi, Penina Wajiko Maina, Dokas Boziboli Abuga, Joy Chemtai, Machili Miliam Wajilo, Mwove Didi Virginia, Michele Chemtai, Dolin Kagwilia Kidinji, Maulis Chepungeno Bet, Faith Mwendi Wambua, Cynthia Kawela, Gladys Ayuma, Genevieve Mola Orlando, Pikote Chepchuba Kiptu, Bridget Waidela, Anna Anyango Odhiambo, Sadina Gina, Degwa Eileen Wamuyo, Beatrice Atieno Odul, Odhiambo Sentraini Akeo, Wicklin Elizabeth Awo, Faith Nziza Duku, Peter Agnes Dunge, Odhiambo Jacqueline Adhiambo, Kuria Susan Wajilo, Pliska G. Kabilo, Miriam Chepkemoi, Adamba Jacqueline, Kamau Ann Wajiko, Legia G. N. Nambola, Omloka Masi Melesia, Utresia Kangaila, Onyango Laurin Achieng, Ateka Desima, Oyawo Christian Iveti, Ananda Vivian Yvonne, Kelebasi Mola Debola. Credit 2. Kiambi Miriam Mohammed, Mokua Celestine Nyanchoka, Jane Masi Jerry Wanjela, Kibale Gesala Momanyi, Fenesa Figehi, Mogelo Dolin Maboleo, Shale Wajiko Dilango, Ed Faith Mola Gatenga. Diploma in Business Information Technology, class of 2020. Distinction. Shilin Kemunto Nyachae, Jude Nyabula Leyan, Wasika Pacifica Leila Katundi. Credit 1. Mary Ann Mobi Delito, Evelyn Mudhoni Wadhano, Koech Valentine Chepkolil, Esther Wailimu Kifuti, Susan Mogina Okelo, Caroline Mwikali, Kemori Lobi Eunice Gatuli, Eva Topisia Sempele, Masi Kafura Mwaula, Waidhaka Elizabeth Wajiko, Beatrice Kadia Tunelo, Dehi Nancy Wajilo, Maureen Chepkemoi, Amtambi Luce Odisa, Catherine Mudhoni Jage, Spila Nyabate Makini, Mwania Diana Muri, Sipora Mudhoni Kamau, Moinken Tumetian Ivari, Maina Aris Wangoi, Odongo Cynthia Atieno, Eunice Nidhoki Mzebi, Mwangi Peris Mudhoni, Molei Baja Joga, Bonne Lahab, Buffet Grace Mwende, Josephine Mwende Malobe, Mazdiza Fifian Maina. Credit 2.
Tuirete Nyambura Mugai and Stelhaufu Catherine Aloch.
I admit you to the Diploma of Kiriri Women University of Science and Technology, and by my authority and that of the entire university, I want you all the rights, privileges, and honor that appertain to this diploma.
Chancellor, sir, I have the honor to call upon the Dean, School of Business and Management, to present the candidates for the award of certificate.
Chancellor, sir, during the 2019-2020 academic year, the following 348 candidates, whom I have the honor to present to you, satisfied the Board of Examiners of the School of Business and Management and Senate in all subjects which they were taught and which they were examined for the award of Certificate of Kiriri Women's University of Science and Technology. Certificate in Business Management, Class of 2020. Distinction. Pauline Wanjiku Mwiruri, Mercy Achieng Wesonga, Edina Moige Omari, Anna Mulea Mutuku, Kamau Maureen Wanjiru, Induri Rose Tracy, Konga Winnie Jesaro, Munyoki Winfred Mueni. Credit 1. Maina Hana Wambui, Wambulwa N. Edith, Mercy Manda Zipora, Dungu Catherine Wambui, Masharia Elizabeth Wambere, Christine Mwende Jagi, Dorothy Rosrin Wakio Kinywa, Joyce Gadhoni Mugure, Cynthia Achieng Ouma, Sharon Chebet Chepkoech, Anne Mukami Mwandiki, Faith Judith Ken, Faith Chepchuba Sawil, Mercy Wangui Njagi, Mwikali Chalo, Margaret Mochere Orori, Michelle Mudhike Kabiru, Christine Mudhoni Kiiru, Ivy Wairimu Kamau, Cynthia Jemusoi Toikon, Medrin Makena, Gladys Mudhoni Ngomuo, Mercy Kwamboka, Kinywa Miriam Wandia, Naomi Achieng Onyango, Okumu Nanjala Diana, Catherine Munyiva Mwongeli, Faith Cherono, Jane Onyango Ochieng, Grace Muhaki Mwaura, Joy Mudheu Muithi, Sandra Njeri Gure, Tabitha Wanjiro Dhumi, Ashrin Akoth Osumba, Maina Miriam Wanjiku, Ruth Mutwa Kivunzi, Shanice Nyokabi Wanjiru, Sharon Angeline Mwikari, Akinyi Diana Onduori, Ochieng Karen Akinyi, Beatrice Ouma Otieno, Belinda Adhiambo, Elizabeth Wanjeri Washira, Chege Wanjiko Mercy, Kibiwot Cheruto Shira, Mercy Chepkurui, Shakira Ali, Adhiambo Florence, Wanjuhi Abigail Wangui, Kuono Angeline Ombwewa, Kanana Wendy. Credit 2. Viora Nyawira Murimi, Opa Jeruto, Nancy Wanjugu Kimani, Dururi Rinet E. Wambui, Deborah Cherotich, Gloria Jebet Koech, Caroline Ruguru Maina, Betty Kendi Bae, Catherine Wenwa Ondero, Susan Wanjiku Waiganjo, Effie M. Amondi Binja, Mercy Cherono, Orwero Cheryl Sophie, Mwanzia Dinda Varen, Sifuna Nafura Gloria, Pass, Dori Nyambura Karanja.
Certificate in Human Resource Management, Class of 2020. Distinction, Monica Wambui Njeri, Mercy Chelagat, Brenda Chepkemoi, Ann Kawira Kathea, Eda Chepkorir, Emily Atieno, Ariga Stacy Mereja. Credit 1, Esther Karanja, Jennifer Adhiambo, Stella Wambui, Mary Otieno, Juguna Melanie, Mwangi Mary, Patricia Koth, Isabel Wambui, Patricia Wawira, Elvin Gatwiri, Mercy Chepkemoi, Nelias Wambui, Maureen Jerry, Egidia Wanjiru, Lillian Tobiko, Monica Wanjiru, Mary Dinda, Faith Mudoni, Yvonne Nyawira, Nanjuma Isaac, Susan Wanjiru, Stella Mons Mwanzia, Sylvia Mpaima, Esther Wangui, Caroline Chepleting, Wilfred Kinya, Jacqueline Nasisho, Sharon Adhiambo, Susan Wanjira, Patricia Njuhi, Esther Wanjiku, Matilda Bulimo, Esoli Mwendwa, Jacqueline Mwongeli, Stacy Akinyi, Edith Chebet, Joan Chepkemoi, Lynn Chepkerui, Joyce Chalo, Nancy Mutindi, Ondieki Nyanchera, Sophia Nariaka, Esther Nabwire, Valentine Akinyi, Jacqueline Wanjiku, Ekra Waidhima, Lucy Mudoni, Rina Mbide, Helen Wangui, Roslyn Mwakwasha, Nafula Salome, Mary Wairimu, Elizabeth Blessings, Barbara Nyanchoka, Kahendi Galfin, Edith Otieno, Virginia Wangari, Sharon Luidaya, Philomena Katungu, Kate Favor, Agnes Wanza, Jacinta Nkirau, Anne Mudeu Peter. Credit 2, Leah Masharia, Gladys Anyango, Nelly Wairimu, Virginia Waiderero, Mercy Nunga, Sylvia Gasheri, Yvonne Roda Achieng, Brenda Chebet, Lydia Wambui, Sharon Chepkoech, Magdalene Chebet, Ivy Wanjiku, Esther Karimi, Pauline Mwende, Brenda Nyokabi, Mary Njeri, Joy Wambui, Faith Mutindi, Mildred Chepto, Mary Mudoni, Berita Dinda, Purity Wanja, Mercy Wanjiru, Wanjugu Njoki, Veronica Mwende, Karanja Susan, Gwahala Neulin, Mutiso Florence, Gikunda Gatwiri, Mercy Chebet, and Kirui Gloria.
Certificate in Procurement and Supplies Management, Class of 2020. Distinction, Beatrice Sekenet Meshemi, Shepkoesh Naomi, Scholastica Wakio Njoki, Josephine Adhiambo Otio, Fayora Jebet, Mary Moramo Mogambi, MB Shepkoesh. Credit 1, Eunice Mwango, Quinta Amondi, Fidelis Wanjilo, Florence Wamboi, Rinette Mwende, Faith Mudeu, Kabaga Yvonne, Ilongo Faith, Miriam Kamene, Nancy Gatiria, Tabitha Wanjira, Sang Jelagat, Mona Morwambe Gertrude, Edirin Kahombi, Shailene Shepkoesh, Belinda Ashieng, Lendia Mwende, Francisca Wangoi, Margaret Njeri, Felista Jebet, Mercy Muthoni, Dafin Shepngeno, Purity Tinyari, Tekra Kemuma, Miriam Bironga, Brandy Maria, Atieno Silfa, Maureen Anyango, Maureen Mora, Ruth Waeni, Faith Jepkemoi, Immaculate Atieno, Lydia Bonareri, Clemencia Mora, Irene Nation, Precious Modoni, Evangeline Kianira, Kimani Jacqueline, Bogi Wilkista, Linda Shepngetish, Wambua Pascarin, Adega Chihainda, Ogola Dimetria, Shalon Balasa, Jeka Joylin, Ijai Mase, Musiemi Mase, Mutuata Lendia, Mase Bithe, Frida Wajiro, Mutonga Ann, Tabitha Washeke, Teso Mbaganjo, Jeptanui Sufiarinda, Oyugi Jacqueline Derito Wefa, Kwaboka Mase, Lucy Auma, Shebleting Lavenda, Odhiambo Maslin, Ondolo Malin, Feogola Atieno, Muirori Stephanie, Mulonsia Docas, credit to Wambui Elizabeth, Catherine Wanjiro West Ambula, Juliet Pato, Defin Kwamboka, Lasho, Lunyagi, Beatrice Vaati, Joan Shepto, Halisa Adan Kuno, Win Zige, Jeff Lais, Elina, Jane Fandenya, Delphine Nyabeki, Purity Rolin, Tina Tana, Natalia Mudhoni, Joyce Waithiegeni, Baru Daisy, Mary Akinyi, Maina Monica, Mongina Mace, Gesale Lena, Munua Hilda, Katini, and Faith Shalon.
Certificate in Information Technology, Class of 2020. Distinction: Pauline Akinyi, Esther E. Nganga, Faith Chepkoech, Sagini Josephine Mola, Ilongo Purity Jelly. Credit 1: Mutuku Esther Munyiva, Gao Lavina Bithe, Kimani Mili Walwinu, Cynthia Ndhamba Kieti, Scholastica Bahati Mtuko, Joyce S. Wachuka Muleu, Mnyidhia R. Mawia, Karioki Luse Wailimo, Diana Chepkeboy Talus, Faith Chepchuba, Frida Mudhoni Mulanga, Mutugi Terry J. Wageshi, Nicolin Chepkoech, Ruth Adhiambo, Esther Waseke Muigai, Diana Omlando Atulo, Eunice Wanjiru Dungu, Felista Kanana Midhike, Lotich Salon Chelop, Margaret Nyawela Mudhoni, Fiona Nyakio Nyawela, Winnie Wanja Muriuki, Luce Deleva Mwakavi, Judith Kasele Muli, Lida Wagoi Mwangi, Evelyn Mola Nyadieka, Monica Mulao Wabua, Fifian Chepkilui, Cynthia Onyango Ogono, Millicent Adhiambo Owenda, Mase Gadhoni Kagwe, Bugua Helen Jerry, Annie Niklote Budi, Diko Wajiko Regina, Kelsey Wamaitha Kibe, Valentine Chamtai Milgo, Esther Waboi Dungo, Lecho Naini Sofia, Jacinta Gadhigia Wajohi, Bridget Katele Wabua, Selu M. Phyllis, Ileli Betty Meli Mwende, Odhiambo Cynthia Atieno, Joy Wagoika Manu, Margaret Wangari Biga, Mohamud Nhanda Yusuf, Kathy Gloria Maswi, Achieng Gaudensia Joan, Atsia Marine G. Adema, Kariuki Ruth Wajiko, Catherine Akinyi, Adeso Elise. Credit 2. Seme Esther Bolabu, Michele Mutete, Sophia Wabua Muleithi, Valentine Balongo Mitiso, Magdalene Nyokavi Jologe, Muligo Esther Wajilo, Salon Wailimu Kimodho, Yvonne Chepngeno, Gertrude Achieng, Wajiro Joan Walinga, Anna Bonarelli Osoro, Cynthia Lydia Karemi Moneki, Bleda Cheruto, Faith Kelil Chebet, Vena Lisenoi Kitaika, Mary Wailimu Jadi, Teresia Wajiko Kearie, Mutida Faith Dunge, Ed Kidaha, Michelle Angeleta.
I admit you to the certificate of Kiriri Women University of Science and Technology, and by my authority and that of the entire university, I want you all the rights, privileges, and honor that appertain to this certificate.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, we will now have a vote of thanks by Professor Rhoda Thairo.
the Chancellor, the Chancellor, the Vice Chancellor, members of the Board of Trustees, University administration, technical people around, security people around, and all protocols observed. We wish to thank our Almighty God for making it possible for all of us to achieve what we have achieved, including everything that we have been able to do to make this graduation possible. We give thanks to you all for sparing time so as to attend this ceremony and to participate in it in whatever capacity. While it is not possible to thank everybody by name, I would like to thank the parents, wherever they are, the guardians and sponsors of the graduates themselves, who have worked so hard to get to these levels for the award of degrees, diplomas, certificates, and to the Kenya government at all levels for producing a conducive environment of peace and harmony. A special word of thanks goes to the Chancellor, Dr. Darua, and his entire family for investing so much of their own intellectual and material resources into the dream of Kiriri Women's University of Science and Technology, which is now a reality, and that's why we are here. We wish to thank specifically the Kiriri Women's University and Science and Technology team, which includes all the players like the Board of Trustees, the Governing Council, the Senate, the administration, for making this university what it is today, and for charting it into a realistic and glorious future as the first women's university of science and technology in this region. We know that it has not been easy to get where we are, but we would like to state that with God's help, this institution will get very far and will lead the world, not just the region, but the world. And when all is said and done, we thank God and we praise Him all the time. Thank you.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, we now request you to dissolve the assembly.
By the powers conferred on me by the letter of authority of 15th May 2002, I declare this congregation dissolved.
Mr. Chancellor, sir, we now have the East African Community Anthem from the digital bench, and thereafter we will have the closing prayer by the University Chaplain, and after that we will leave And the procession this time will be in reverse order. Thank you.
Mungu twaomba uilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde.